Hey guys, you're here with me, Jenn the Taxidermy Witch, and we are talking about hoodoo in bed because it's very late in the evening, as you can see, and I'm up and I'm awake, but I'm still tired. So I wanted to do some videos just here in the comfort of my own bed. Behind me I have the Holy Bible because we are going to be reading out of this book on chapter 5, I believe, where it talks about using the Psalms, and I'll show you how to look those up in a Bible, okay? So we're reading from Hoodoo by Monique Joyner Siedlak, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is my boudoir. This is where I do all my filming, but generally I don't show you this corner of where my bed's at. So I do a lot of shots on the bed and set up layouts on the bed or thrift hauls, but sometimes it's nice to just chill and read in bed. So that's why we're doing this way. It has nothing to do with anything other than that. So in the first intro to this book, we read table of contents, the front and back of the book, about the book. So if you missed video 1, go back and read or watch the video before this. We talked about chapter 1, what is in hoodoo. And now we're on to chapter 2, the beliefs and practices. Okay, so I'm just going to get a little bit more comfortable and do some reading to you. Okay, a hoodoo or root worker or conjurer works with the Christian, Protestant, or Catholic Bible. This is a Catholic Bible. This is actually a Masonic Bible, but inside it's a St. Peter's version of a Catholic Bible. That is a family heirloom of Alex's. It was his granddad's, and so that's pretty rad. Okay, the words of Jesus Christ, the intervention of Mary, the calling of the saints, along with the use of the Psalms, is thought to hold great power for all manner of work. When you work with hoodoo, and more South African American viewpoint will exist. A root worker may perform alongside the appearances of the Scots-Irish German that was brought to the Appalachian Mountains. Together, we'll use the Bible, particularly the Psalms and various seals. As an outcome of the contact to various faiths and practices, the religions of the African slaves changed into a potpourri of magical practices recognized as hoodoo. Even though hoodoo is not a religion, members of often use Christian mythology, though some practitioners are just as expected to petition Papa Legba to remove stumbling blocks and open the way ahead of them. And Papa Legba, if you're not familiar with that, he's the god of the crossroads. Okay. Intention. Another word for intention is like your focused will or what you want to happen. Okay? In hoodoo tradition, curses are seen as desire or wish, which can only be delivered by God and simply when the curse is warranted. An example would be if you lay down a powder to curse someone, it will only have an effect on that specific individual and no one else. So for instance, if you laid down hot foot powder and you want someone to walk through it, behind it, you lay it, it is meant for that person, okay? It's not like anybody who walks over it will get the effects. Your intention is in that magical powder, and it is from you to that specific person. It's not going to be something that's dangerous for anybody to come across, okay? And that is because of intention. That is different than doing a protection spell around your house where it's warding off anyone who comes near with ill intent, you know? And that's, again, a little bit specific because you're saying anyone with ill intent. However, in this, you're just putting your intention directly into it. Even if they happen to walk over the powder, right? What's more is it's thought that curses which are not exactly or deserved have no effect. Now, if a curse is both deserved and expressed by a person in the right, like a root worker, it is said not to ever fail. So you can know that you've got that behind you. Divination. The power to predict the future and converse with ghostly spirits is one of spiritual practitioners' most significant abilities. Cover your head. Divination allows the individual to study the past and present in order to reveal the odds a future event. Divination shows that by active involvement in the actions taking place in life of a person, they can shift the possibilities in the direction of their desired results. The divine providence. Most followers of Hoodoo have faith in some form of a higher power, to whom they address their prayers and petitions to. This supremacy may simply be mentioned as God, or whichever member of deities of spirits of the foremost religions. Some may even have different deities from different religions, or different purposes. These presences are believed to take an involved interest in the concerns of human beings and to have the capability to impact our lives. Principle of signatures. An acceptance which embraces that the Creator manifested everything in reality with a mark or signature that designates its envisioned purpose. Additionally, by thorough observation, one can conclude the use of a plant from a characteristic of its form, its name, its color, even where it grows. Okay. Alright. Vengeful justice. Vengeful justice is a system of punishment built on the biblical principle of an eye for an eye. Not like other religions, which accept magic as part of its beliefs and maintain its members to do no harm. Hoodoo permits a person not to only protect themselves by magical methods, but also to get revenge against those who have mistreated them. On the other hand, the punishment must fit the crime. Afterlife. Beside the belief in a higher power comes the belief in the continuous survival of the soul after the body's death, after the bodily death. Several root workers start off working with spirits of the dead in the usage of the ancestors. And remember, I did a whole video on the ancestors of Conjure and what that is. Okay? Because it's not your ancestors when we're talking about Hoodoo, it's the ancestors. The slaves that came over from Africa, but it's more than that, so you really need to watch that video I did about the ancestors and Hoodoo. The ancestors are the spirits of the dead who are connected by blood. It is thought that the dead don't die, but more accurately ascends to another level. That's what I certainly believe. I work with my grandparents. I have an altar for them that I keep all the time on the floor. I give them plates of dinner, fresh water all of the time, candles, flowers, things like that. One of which they can look on and aid us, our ancestors, the ancestors and our ancestors. From this higher level, the ancestors can guide us in our daily lives, intercede with Supreme Being on our behalf, and look after us in times of need. Chapter 3. The Altar. Situating a functioning altar to work your mojo can be a permanent altar for your spirits or a temporary one in which you can work the spell, tidy up, and put away the items after the spell is finished. Altars can be set up on the floor, such as with African American conjure rites, ceremonies, and Haitian voodoo, Laos, Poja altars, and Buddhist altars. My altars are all on the floor. I believe that spirits live on the floor. It sounded weird to me at first as well, but in reading both of my last 2 books, the offerings are on the floor. There's some YouTube channels that I love on Hoodoo workings, and the offerings are all on the floor. I put mine on the floor as well because also I had a lot better personal connection to those deities and to those ancestors when the offerings were on the floor rather than when they were up on a shelf. Okay, so that's just my personal experience with that. Altars are ritualistically cleansed with holy water. So that is water from a Catholic church or a Protestant church, or technically water you could bless yourself, but if you can get your hands on some holy water from one of those two churches, do it. So holy water in that form. Florida water, which I always use on my channel. Florida water, or other sacred waters prepared especially for cleansing the ritual space. Altar cloths are placed out to distinguish the altar. White is the customary color for all types of altar covers, but they can come in colors and designs corresponding to the work or spirit being worked with call for. Straightforward altars to the saints or spirits can be a white altar cloth, glasses of water, white candles, black coffee. I do that. And I use the Café du Monde coffee with chicory in it, or you can make your own coffee with chicory in it, but the ancestors of Conjure and Hoodoo love chicory. So black coffee and the representation of the spirit being worked with. More in-depth altars will have images, candles, flowers, perfumes, foods, drinks, and other sacred gifts, like, also joss paper. Man, hell notes. I so want joss paper and hell notes. Anybody who wants to donate to this channel can certainly do that. They're great. It's like spiritual money they can spend on the spiritual realm, and then you burn it for them, and they're so cool. They're like these notes that look like foreign money with gold embossing on them. I think on Amazon you can get like a count of 500 for like $14 or something. So they're all different, and you can just leave them to your actual ancestors. So it's money that they can spend and use for things on the spiritual realm. I just think that's so cool. Where are we? So things to have. Straightforward altars. Okay, more in-depth altars will have images, candles, perfume, foods, drinks, other sacred gifts to the spiritual being called on. An altar for a particular spell can be the same. When you set your altar, do so with focus. Keep your mind clear, but focused on your intentions. Sweep and dust the area, putting away disorderly items that are an eyesore in your area. And I'm really particular about how my altar looks. You guys have seen my videos, so I'm already doing that intuitively, that I'm so particular about how things look, you know? If you have limited storage area for untidy items, and spirits don't like clutter and mess, so just make it look cool, you know? Like, I have to have a little clutter in here because I have so many things, but you just make it look uniform somehow. When we organize our working spaces, we organize our minds and soul. Absolutely, I'm so a fan of the life-changing magic or the art of tidying up. Like, that lady is so cool, and I love that book. You should read it. Clean your space with a clean holy water or perfume. Take a purifying bath, definitely, before setting your altar. Place your other spells. If you can't take a purifying bath, just do Florida water cleanse. Spray it on your hands, clap to spirit at least 3 times, and then start at your head and work your way down to your feet. You can take a chicken's foot. Keep your mind clear but focused on your intentions. Sweep the area. Organize. Take a purifying bath before setting your altar. Place your other spell-casting tools, such as images, candles, powders, curios, oils, and personal items. Once you complete your spell, the altar might be still in need of a setup for several days until the ritual is complete, or for the spirits to eat and drink their offerings. You don't want to ask for that's another thing. If something's not paid for, you don't want to be the friend that asks for a bunch of favors and never like gives back, right? You want to give offerings, and then ask for something in return after a lot of giving. Just think of it that way. You don't want to be to your gods or the ancestors. You don't want to be that friend that asks for a bunch of stuff and never gives. So start your offerings before you start asking. That's what I'm trying to say. When the spell is complete, whether it is 1 day or 7 days, remove the items for proper removal according to the ritual and take any offerings to the spirits, to a tree, or to a crossroads and properly give thanks to the spirits. In my personal opinion, do the tree before the crossroads because you need to be knowledgeable about the crossroads, Papa Legba, the spirits that reside there, and when they reside there and such, before you start working with it, because it is something that can hold some darker energies, right? Sometimes the offerings are placed in front or backyard to be determined by the ritual itself. Okay, so we are at 16 minutes. I feel like we can read about candles in Hoodoo, and then we can come back and talk about the Psalms and other chapters. So let's go to Candles in Hoodoo, chapter 4. Types of Hoodoo candles. Candle work is a basic factor of Hoodoo. For appropriate candle colors, there are moving candle spells, stationary candle spells, vigil candles, and others. These are just some of the ritual candles found in the practices of Hoodoo. Adam and Eve. This is for a strong marriage candle, strengthen your marriage and the love you share for one another. Adam and Steve, man love and union candle. Okay, I'm serious. It does say this. I'm not kidding. Okay. Alice and Eve, woman love and union candle. Okay, really cool, interesting, and really cool. This is obviously like a very new book, I'm guessing. Cool. Double action. Do I want to read this one? Let me read it to myself before I read it out loud. Okay, it has nothing to do with sexual preferences. We're good to go. Double action means a candle with 2 colors to release, banish negativity, and attract good influences. Please comment below if you are just as intrigued as me about the interesting thing that could have come up there. Okay, come to me. Draw and compel your love interest to you. Court case. Helps in court cases and other legal issues. Crown of glory. Success, victory in all endeavors. Stop gossip. Shut up! Stop gossip in its tracks and reverse the damage it has done. High John. High John the Conqueror root is the most powerful herb in Hoodoo. I need some. I don't have any. To be used when you need success over any obstacle. I can't wait to work with it. I know that I will be working with it soon. I believe you can maybe find it in Texas. Jinx Remover. Removes confusion, pain, trouble, and any evil in your life to help free you of whatever jinxes come your way. Lucky 7. Increase luck, good fortune, gambling, lottery, games of chance. Money draw. Money draw. Attract the money and prosperity you need and desire. Reversing. Turns back curses, jinxes, and evil to the one that sent it to you. Road Opener. Clears your path of obstacles and opens a smooth road before you. 7 day. 7 knob candles are commonly used in I'm a child, sorry. Are commonly used in ritual work that spans 7 days, with 1 knob to be burned for each day of the spell. Ritual cleansing. Clears away old energies, removes negative thoughts and feelings, and eases overwhelming emotions and feelings of unrest and self-doubt. Steady job. Burn to find a new job or a better job, or to help protect you from layoffs. Tranquil home. Smooth over arguments, solve disagreements, and bring peace to the entire household. Also for blessing a new home. Uncrossing. Remove spells, hexes, negative workings of others against you. Okay, so come back with me, Jenn the Taxidermy Witch. While we do some hoodoo reading in bed, but we're going to read this book this evening. It's very, very short, and we're going to do it right here in bed. So, reading Hoodoo by Monique Joyner Siedlak, and we're coming back for Chapter 5. Candle burning and using the Psalms, okay? Have a great, beautiful evening. Bye-bye.